Howdy all, and welcome to Dad Tries to Silent His CR-10S with a silent board. So I bought this board from Amazon, but from Creality to help quiet my CR-10S, which is a noisy boy. I noticed there's firmware for the Ender, but not for the CR-10S, but I also saw on Creality's website that they have precompiled firmware, so no problem, right? So I bounced over to Creality's website. There's our board for the Ender 5. And down where there used to be downloadable drivers, no mention of it at all. It was right there. If you look at YouTube, you'll see here's where you go to get firmware. So, fine. It looks like I'm not going to use Creality's firmware anymore, but it's based on Marlin. So we'll use Marlin. To do that, we need the Arduino IDE. So first up, let's go grab that. Download and install, nothing fancy there. So I'm not going to belabor you with watching me install it. Next thing we need to do is get the Marlin firmware. You need the firmware and the configurations. We're going to use an example configuration provided by Marlin as the basis for our changes. From GitHub, right, you go to code right there and you can download the zip. And that'll be your configuration files. So lots next here. We're going to configure Marlin. So first thing you need to do is extract both of your zip folders. And same for the configurations. And this will speed up here real quick because I have a potato PC. So with everything extracted, we can descend into our Marlin folder just to give things a look. We're going to go all the way down into Marlin there, and we're going to replace configuration and configuration advanced. We're going to add a couple more files, but those guys are going to be replaced. And we're going to do that from our configurations that we downloaded. So we got to dig into the examples and find Creality, and then get the CR-10S. A little bit up. There we go. Example for V1 because we're using their board. So we're going to get all 4 files. And then we're going to go back to Marlin. This is 209 at the moment I'm recording this. And we're going to paste it right there into the Marlin folder. And we're going to overwrite configuration and configuration advanced. So now, we're going to use the Arduino IDE to compile ourselves some custom firmware. So double click the INO to launch the Arduino IDE like it says right there. That'll fire everything up. And now we're going to scroll after we get everything resized appropriately. There we go. Okay. If you open up the INO, you'll see all 4 of the files you just copied. It opens version 2. No big deal. We want to make sure that our board and our processor are the Arduino Mega or Mega 2560 selections. And for port, that's just going to depend on where you have your printer plugged into your PC. That's going to be up to you to figure out. We're going to need to install a couple of extra libraries, TMC Stepper and U8glib HAL, a hardware abstraction layer. You can do that in the library manager, as you see right here. Let it do its thing, and then you can start looking for installed, just to limit what you see on the screen there. And we're going to say TMC Stepper, and that'll start filtering down libraries. In my case, we're going to see installed. In your case, you want to see all, because I've already installed it. Once you find TMC Stepper, click install, it'll install it for you. You can see I've already got it installed. We're also going to want U8glib HAL. So we'll do that here next. Same thing. Instead of type installed, you want to type all so you can find your library. We'll say there's lots of U8 glibs. Don't get U8 glib. You want U8 glib HAL, HAL. There it is. Then you'll want to install it, and that's what supports the screen on your printer. So once you've got that installed, we're going to start scrolling down through configuration.h. If you do not see Creality CR-10S Creality V1 right there, go get the right example files. And then we're going to scroll and scroll and scroll all the way down to line 760 something. We'll see in just a moment. 740. Now, if you don't have a thermal chamber or a laser cooler, you can comment those out. There's no need to compile them if you're not going to use them. You can always recompile if you ever get one. So now let's keep scrolling. And we're going to get to the stepper drivers. So the stepper board, the silent one, uses a TMC 2208. Do not put TMC 2208 there in your driver type. You will get a TMC connection error. You really want the TMC 2208 standalone. So paste that bad boy in there for your X, Y, and Z drivers. This assumes that your CR-10S is bone stock, like mine. And that's it. Save your changes right up there. And then click verify. That's going to compile your sketch. And this is going to be zoomed. This is going to be sped up to 400 speed. And then we wait for firmware to compile. Depending on the speed of your PC, that may be a bit. So we'll wait and wait and wait, but you'll get there. And like I said, it's going to take you, I think it took my PC a good 10 minutes to compile. That's okay. If you don't get any errors, you won't see any red text, and then it'll say done compiling. If you followed the instructions, you should get right to here. This was my second go through, and only because I picked TMC 2208 the first time. And then, assuming your CR-10S is connected via USB, powered off, mash upload. It will compile again. And then, but it's already done all the heavy compilation, so it's going to upload that to your 10S. You'll see done uploading. And then when you fire up your 10S, you should see this. There's the Marlin interstitial 2093, and CR-10S ready. Your fans are now the loudest part of your CR-10S. Thanks for watching.